A while back in Voltlog 231 I took a look at a device called NitroOBD2. It was this $2 OBD port dongle which supposedly when plugged into your car's OBD port will enhance the performance by tuning the ECU. This was of course a scam, as I proved in the video by doing a teardown. The dongle did nothing but flash some LEDs, but there were still people who left some comments saying they were seeing some performance improvements after using the $2 tuning gadget. Those are of course false claims. Maybe those people just don't have a clue what's going on, or maybe they're the actual sellers offering these on eBay and AliExpress. Well, as it happens, I found another one of these which looked a bit different, so I decided to order this one as well, just to check what the scammers have changed. It's called SuperOBD2. It comes in this super small box, and I suspect they sell it for less when packed in a smaller box because shipping will be cheaper. The user manual is printed right on the back of this small box to save cost, and there's only 5 steps needed to operate this. This video is sponsored by jlcpcb.com, a professional PCB supplier who can offer 24 hours turnaround time for prototype PCBs for just $2. You also have a selection of solder mask colors with no extra cost and affordable laser cut stencils, so it's definitely worth checking them out. And inside we have the SuperOBD2 chip tuning box. Yeah, it sounds impressive, but trust me, this will not be what it claims. We also have a stamped address inside the box, and as far as I know, this doesn't look like a Chinese address. This could be from like India or Indonesia, but I don't know. I'll have to check and maybe overlay this when I edit the video. Before continuing with the teardown, let me show you that this time the seller is even advertising with pictures that show the inside of this box, claiming it's got a PIC 16F59, which is like an 8-bit microcontroller with 3K flash, but they seem very proud of that. They seem like that's the best processing power that you can get right now. And like I mentioned in my other video, there are 2 ways in which you can electronically improve the performance of a car. First, through ECU remapping. By uploading a new map into the ECU, it will behave differently according to the new map. Or you can manipulate the inputs to the ECU by inserting an electronic device between the sensors and the ECU to trick the ECU into injecting more fuel and air into the engine. Both of these methods are impossible to be done by a PIC 16F59, as every engine is unique and such a device will have to hold information about thousands of different engines. That would probably need hundreds of gigabytes of data storage, not to mention the cost of researching and building such a system, which would probably be at least a 6-figure number. But our friends insist they can get it done for $3. So here is what the device looks inside. We got a 2-board construction, one that holds the OBD2 connector and another one for the microcontroller. And now I understand why this one is $3 while the other one we looked at was only $2. Because this time they went to the effort of placing the switch on this top case, and they have this flat flex connection to the main board. So this will of course raise the cost of manufacturing for this model. It is indeed a microchip PIC 16F59, or at least that's what the markings are telling us. It could very well be something else, like a 3-cent microcontroller in there, a generic Chinese microcontroller which has been badged as a PIC. But it looks to be fairly different from the other one, but still the same architecture. We have a voltage regulator, a protection diode, we have the microcontroller, a bunch of supporting passives, and the LEDs that are going to be blinking on an apparently random pattern. I have applied the power to the dongle, 12 volts from my bench power supply, and it appears to be taking mostly 3.4-3.5 milliamps at 12 volts, with the occasional bursts to about 20 or 30 milliamps when it's blinking the LEDs. Right now you can see it's about 60 milliamps because it's pulsating the LEDs like crazy. It's like tricking you into thinking it's doing something really important right now, but then it will go back to a normal pattern where it's occasional blinking an LED. So it will take about 3.5 milliamps during that stage. Now, whether it's safe or not to leave this thing connected to your OBD port, it's up to you to calculate. I have given you the consumption. You'd have to consider that the OBD port has a 12 volts always on power setting. So if you leave this thing connected to your OBD port, this will continuously pull power from your battery. And if you have, for example, a weak battery and you don't use your car for weeks, this might become a problem sooner or later. I have also probed the CAN pins 6 and 14 with my oscilloscope to check if there is any activity on those pins, and of course there isn't any activity being visible on those pins. The microcontroller doesn't put anything on those pins, and it wouldn't have the required CAN hardware interface built into this 8-bit microcontroller, and there is no external CAN controller on the board, so there isn't any physical capability for this dongle to interface with the CAN interface, even if it wanted to do that. In previous versions of this scamming dongle, they didn't even solder some of the pins of the microcontroller, the ones which were connected to the CAN pins. They had like a solder mask or silk screen under those pins, so they weren't even electrically connected. With this version, it appears that all of the pins of the microcontroller are soldered to the PCB, so maybe they are watching all of the debunking videos on YouTube and they are fixing their design to look more realistic. But of course, even if all the pins are soldered, that doesn't mean anything. This is still snake oil, which doesn't help you with anything. After seeing the inside of this dongle with your own eyes and seeing there is no actual CAN hardware interface which is required to have any communication on a CAN bus, and after seeing there is no actual signal being put on the CAN pins by this dongle, and after hearing all of my logical explanations, if you still think this is going to do anything, then you might just as well send your money to my PayPal address, which is linked in the description below, because that will improve the performance of your engine just as much, if not better, than buying this stupid OBD dongle. And you know what? Donating to my PayPal address won't even hurt your battery. I can guarantee you there is no discharge happening at all. So thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below and stay away from scams like this one.